Dad? Can I go? Robert pictured donors, cameras, expectations, the reportage that followed every move of a rich dad. His brand, his legacy. He felt heat in his neck. Emma slid a plate of toast. He's been practicing all week. Whispering to the kettle. She smiled. John folded his paper. And translating the weather for me, boss. Said the clouds were grumpy in 3 languages. Robert managed a laugh. Small, nervous. He looked at Sophia, who had paused by the doorway, hands clasped. Mr. Robert, she said, careful. I won't disobey you, but if you decide he'll go, I can help you build a plan. Quietly, respectfully. No scenes. Why do you even know this stuff? Robert asked, more curious than angry now. Sophia's eyes flickered. Because once, before visas and papers and the 1,000 doors that didn't open, I taught in a small community school by the river. We had 1 broken globe and 20 children who thought it was treasure. We learned, thank you, before please. Because gratitude opens doors that pride keeps shut. The kitchen settled into a soft quiet. Rain had stopped. Sun pushed through. Which 5 languages? Michael asked, eyes wide. Sophia looked at him, then at Robert. You choose. Michael grinned. English is easy. Spanish, French, Arabic, and Urdu. Because Shakriya feels like a hug. Emma chuckled. Teach me that one. Robert rubbed his temples. The academy invite pinged again. Confirm attendance by tonight. He faced Sophia. If we do this, there are rules. Name them. You will not replace Evelyn. You will not make this about you. You will teach with Emma and John nearby, doors open. Every note goes through me. Sophia nodded. And I have one request, sir. He lifted an eyebrow. Now you have requests? Only this, she said. If Michael shines, don't say I knew it. Say, he did that. A beat. Something in Robert's chest softened. Deal. The days that followed were a heartbeat. Steps echoing down the hallway. The whisper of flashcards. The scrape of chairs as mini lessons popped up in strange places. By the window, Bonjour, J. Emapel Michael. By the garden, Assalamu alaikum. In the pantry, giggling, Donde está la leche? At the front door, palms pressed, Shakriya. On the staircase, breathless, Ni hao. John practiced while polishing the car. Emma labeled spice jars in swirling scripts. Even Robert tried a line, then coughed, embarrassed, when he slipped. One night, Michael asked quietly, Dad, why did you look upset when you heard us? Robert looked at his son. Because I hate not being prepared. Michael nodded. Sophia says fear is just a hallway with the lights off. Robert smiled despite himself. And she says we can learn where the switch is. The week burned by. On Friday, the villa woke early. Shoes lined by the door. A blue tie for luck. A small notebook in Sophia's apron pocket. They stepped into the car. The city glittered. Robert's phone buzzed with a new text from Evelyn at last. I'll meet you at the academy. I have a surprise. A surprise? Robert looked at Sophia in the mirror. She stared out the window, lips moving silently, as if praying or counting languages. What surprise could eclipse the one sitting right behind him? The auditorium smelled like polished wood and lavender sanitizer. Lights warmed the stage. 100 whispers braided into a low C. Banners fluttered, Founders Academy. Minds without borders. Evelyn waited near the front row. Sharp suit. Calm smile. She hugged Michael. You're going to be wonderful. Robert exhaled. Thanks for coming. Evelyn glanced toward Sophia. And this must be the one who lit the fuse. Sophia dipped her head. Just holding the match. Matches change forests. Evelyn murmured, eyes kind. The program began. Children greeted in pairs. Applause flickered like fireflies. When Michael's name echoed, the air around Robert thinned. Michael stepped out. Small shoulders. Bright eyes. A mic too big for his hand. He looked at the sea of faces. Blinked. Found his dad. Robert lifted a thumb. Small. Steady. Good morning, Michael began. I'm Michael. Today, I'll share 5 ways to say one thing. Thank you. Because my maid says gratitude is the key you can always afford. A soft ripple of laughter. A few raised brows at Maid. Robert's stomach tightened, then eased. The truth felt clean. English, Michael smiled. Thank you. Spanish, he turned to the side. Gracias. French. Merci. Arabic. Shukran. Urdu. He inhaled. Shukriya. He bowed. Applause gathered and grew. He glanced to the wings. Sophia's hand hovered at her heart. Emma pressed a tissue to her eye. John's grin flashed like headlights. Now, the host said. A surprise conversation with a guest. 1 language. 1 minute. Let's see how curiosity travels. A tall man stood. Silver hair. Precise suit. Mr. Alvarez, an investor. He began in Spanish, quick and lilting. Michael answered, halting, then clearer. He laughed at a joke the room didn't catch. The audience leaned forward. Spanish flowed like a small river finding its bed. The minute ended. Applause again. Louder. Would anyone like to test him in another tongue? The host teased, half serious. A woman in the 3rd row raised her hand. Gentle smile. Soft scarf. She spoke in Arabic, simple greetings, then a question about the garden and where the birds go when it rains. Michael blinked. He glanced toward the wings. He heard Sophia's whisper from 100 late-night minutes. Listen first. Feel the music. Answer slowly. The point is kindness, not speed. He tried. He formed the words. The audience smiled at a child trying to hold a delicate bowl. Then it happened. The phone rang hard and sudden. A security guard hurried to the side door. Another followed. A murmur spread, papers urgent. The headmaster whispered with Evelyn, whose face tightened. Robert's chest went cold. The host cleared his throat. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. A small issue with a translation document for our VIP delegation. 1 minute. 1 minute stretched. Evelyn turned, searching. Where's the Arabic interpreter? They sent the wrong file. Sophia closed her eyes. The hall tilted. She could do it. She knew she could. But Maid. But rules. But lights. Robert met her eyes. Don't. His old reflex whispered. His new self said nothing. Would you stand up? Risk being seen? And speak? Or sit still while a child's moment unravels? Evelyn's voice was low and urgent. We need the welcome brief in Arabic now. The printed script is in the wrong dialect. The VIP is offended. The headmaster blanched. The host fiddled with the mic. Mr. Alvarez checked his watch. A wave of embarrassment gathered, ready to break across the school's polished brand. Sophia stepped into the aisle before she could think. I can help. Heads turned. Some with relief. Some with skepticism. The maid? Evelyn's eyes warmed. Sophia? Are you sure? Sophia nodded. I will speak clearly and gently. We will be okay. She moved to the side of the stage. The lights felt hot on her skin. The paper trembled once in her hand, then stilled. She lifted her chin and began. Welcome. We are happy you're here. This school believes in wide hearts before big minds. Her voice was a river at dusk, calm, reflecting light. The VIP's shoulders softened. The headmaster exhaled, audible even from the back. The hall settled like dust after rain. Sophia continued, weaving the school's values, honoring the guest's journey, choosing words that carried respect like a tray. When she finished, the VIP smiled, hand over heart. Applause rose, gentle at first, then full and rolling. Robert's eyes burned. He clapped, steady, then harder. Michael leapt from the wing and hugged her waist. You did the 6th language, he whispered. Sophia smiled. Which is? Courage. Laughter. A few tears. Emma shushed her own sob. John whistled, short and proud, then remembered where he was and coughed to hide it. Evelyn stepped forward. For the record, she said into the mic, Sophia was my surprise. She's not a replacement. She's a teacher I've admired from afar. She trained interpreters before life pushed her into jobs that didn't fit her brilliance. I asked her to meet you today because sometimes talent hides in uniforms we overlook. A hush, then a swell of something like shame and hope. Robert felt the villa in his bones, the marble floors, the quiet halls, the way he'd walked past a door and nearly kept walking. He took the mic, voice thick. I once told Sophia not to teach my son. I was wrong. His gaze found her. You didn't just teach Michael words. You taught him how to respect the person speaking. That's rarer than money. A beat. He turned to the crowd. If any of you are hiring for positions that don't have neat titles, consider this. Some people hold up your house before you notice they're the pillars. Applause again. Brighter. Cleaner. After the ceremony, the headmaster approached. Mr. Robert, about scholarships. Give them to the kids who can't afford a tutor, Robert said. We can fund the program. And one more thing. Yes, I want to start a kitchen classroom. Tables, flashcards, tea, for staff and students. No separation, just chairs. The headmaster blinked. That's new. It's necessary, Robert said, glancing at Sophia, because the best rooms are the ones where everyone is allowed to learn. Evelyn smiled. And teach. Later, under the eaves outside, rain began again. Soft, cleansing. Michael caught drops on his tongue, giggling in 3 languages. Sophia watched the water bead on the stone and slide into lines that were always there, just waiting to fill. But stories aren't finished with applause. The next door was waiting at home. What promise could turn a villa into a school after midnight? The villa glowed warm against the wet night. Emma brewed cinnamon tea. John carried in foldable tables. Michael set out his flashcards, each card now with a doodle. Sun for Spanish, tiny Eiffel for French, crescent moon for Arabic, kite for Urdu, paper dragon for Chinese. Kitchen classroom, Robert said, rolling up his sleeves. Starts now. Sophia stood very still. Are you sure? He nodded. I'm done mistaking uniforms for ceilings. He drew 5 circles on a whiteboard with a dry erase squeak. 5 languages, he said, and as he wrote their names, he added small notes beside each. Spanish, gratitude. French, listening. Arabic, respect. Urdu, tenderness. Chinese, patience. And the 6th, Michael bounced. Courage. Robert smiled. Always. They began. The villa changed shape around them. Emma mispronounced something and laughed until she cried. John nailed a phrase and did a quiet fist pump. Michael taught a greeting he'd invented that mixed everything into one silly sentence. Their voices rose and fell, not perfect, but alive. Between lessons, Robert turned to Sophia. What do you want, truly? Title aside. Sophia looked down at her notebook. A small school that fits in a suitcase, she said softly. Tables that fold. Lessons that travel to the places people already are, the riverbank, the market, the night shift. Robert nodded, mind already mapping. We can build that. Sophia's eyes widened. Why? Because money that doesn't listen is useless, he said. And today I learned to listen. A beat. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Then I have one last request. Name it. Let Michael teach sometimes. Children are generous. They hand you keys adults keep in their pockets. Deal, Robert said, chest light. At midnight, the front bell chimed softly. A delivery. Boxes of second-hand readers and a globe, already ordered by Evelyn before the event. On top lay a note. For the school that was already alive, just waiting for someone to turn on the lights. They unpacked. They labeled. They brewed more tea. The clock moved without hurry. Rain became a hush. The villa, marble, glass, steel, felt like something else now. A place where a maid could be a teacher, where a boy could be a bridge, where a rich dad could learn the 6th language without shame. Michael yawned. Dad? Yes. Do you think important people will laugh if the teacher wears an apron? Robert smiled, throat tight. They will clap, son. And if they don't, we'll teach them how. Sophia wiped a tear, quick and shy. Shukriya, she whispered. Then, for good measure, gracias. Merci. Shukran. Sheshya. 5 thanks. 1 room. Lights on. And outside, the wind carried new words through the trees, as if the night itself had learned how to say thank you. Your turn. Have you ever misjudged someone because of their job, their clothes, or their accent? Then discovered a gift you almost walked past? What did it teach you, and how will you keep the lights on for the next person?